Welcome to one of the fastest growing sports YouTube channels out there, Gold and Blue Dude. And the 8 remaining members of the Big 12 have unanimously voted in BYU, UCF, Cincinnati, and Houston. Just how strong is the new Big 12? Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me again, Gold and Blue Dude. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I do college football videos every single day. It is official. BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF have been voted in unanimously by the 8 remaining members of the Big 12. BYU has put out a statement that they will be joining the Big 12 in the 23-24 season. For Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF, they have to give a 27-month notice, or each team has to pay a $10 million buyout. So that's $30 million altogether. So they would have to wait till the 2025 college football season to begin Big 12 play if they don't want the buyout. Right now, Texas and Oklahoma are set to join the SEC by July 1st, 2025. So it's kind of in the same time period. One team that's upset about this is Memphis. They're not happy about not getting an invite to the Big 12. And now because of that, the AAC is going to look to expand because now they're down to 8 teams. Who would they go after? I think the 4 top teams that the AAC could go after. Number 1, Marshall. I think Marshall could make the jump from Conference USA to the AAC. They've been steadily rising since they've jumped into FBS. They went from FCS to FBS, started in the MAC, jumped to Conference USA, and now they would be making another jump to the AAC. What about Coastal Carolina in the Sun Belt? They're not a big brand, but they are having a ton of success right now. But are they big enough market for the AAC to be like, we should add them? I think UAB is a good option for the AAC. And then finally, Appalachian State. Appalachian State has become a household name ever since they upset Michigan. That would be a good add for the AAC. That would bump them up to 12, which would actually be better than the number that they had, which is 11. The brand's not quite as strong. So how strong is the new Big 12, excluding Texas and Oklahoma and counting West Virginia? How strong is the new Big 12? Well, first off, I think the Big 12 does divide off into divisions. And in the East Division, you'd have West Virginia, Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, Baylor, and TCU. In the West Division, you'd have Kansas, Kansas State, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, BYU, and Texas Tech. In football, here's the recruiting class rankings for 2022. West Virginia actually has the highest recruiting class in this new Big 12 at 23. Right behind them is Iowa State at 27. Next would be Baylor at number 30, Cincinnati at 32, Oklahoma State at 34. And then there's kind of a drop-off after that. UCF at 49, TCU 62, Kansas State 68, BYU 72. That one kind of surprised me. Kansas 75th, Texas Tech 78th, and Houston 94th. Yikes. I will say, if West Virginia does go to the ACC, it would be nice to get one shellacking on Dana Holgorsen. And yes, West Virginia would definitely smack the hell out of Houston. I don't care if they play in Houston. I don't care if they play in Morgantown. I don't care if they play on the moon. West Virginia would smack the crap out of Houston. Welcome back to the Big 12, Dana Holgorsen. We missed you. What I'm about to say is not my opinion. It's not my hope. It's what my inside sources are saying. They're still saying that West Virginia is going to the ACC. And a lot of people that have watched my videos whose team are in the Big 12 are acting like that I'm not grateful for the Big 12, that I'm acting arrogant saying that West Virginia should choose the ACC. That's not it at all. West Virginia knows what it's like for a conference to crumble. We were in the Big East when it was picked apart. Now the Big 12 looks like it's going to survive, but will they stay a Power 5 conference? There's no marquee names in the new Big 12. I mean, really, the best brand in the new Big 12 is West Virginia. So is that good enough for West Virginia to stick in the Big 12 to be the best in a small pond? Ask Cincinnati, ask UCF. That's not always great. That's why they're jumping from the AAC to the Big 12. Because being in the AAC, no matter how good of a season they had, they were going to be denied out of the playoffs. That could be the same scenario that the new Big 12 could face. No matter how good your team looks, because of your strength of your conference, you won't really have a chance to make it to the playoffs. So let me make this perfectly clear. As a West Virginia fan, I'm very grateful for the Big 12, but it is very tough that all your away games are in a different time zone. I know, adding UCF and Cincinnati makes 2 possible away games in your time zone, but still the overwhelming majority of your away games are still in a different time zone. It is rough. And being in this type of conference where everybody's kind of spread apart, you have a group over here in the Midwest, in West Virginia, Cincinnati, UCF down here, it's hard to recruit. Kids want to play in front of their family, and fans want to be able to travel to their away games. It's tough. Plus, I straight up just don't trust Bob Bowlesby. I mean, he should have tried to add on teams a long time ago. And you lose 4 and you add 2. You're called the Big 12, but you only have 10 teams. Oh, we're okay at 10 teams. And all of a sudden, Oklahoma and Texas are gone. Now you try to add Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, and BYU. I mean, those are nice additions, but the timing of the man is so wrong. He is reactive. He's not proactive, and that's a problem. I don't trust him. Having said that, if West Virginia chooses to stay in the new Big 12, it's not a terrible, horrific decision. I don't think West Virginia is doomed if we stay in the new Big 12. Nothing of the sort. I just think the ACC is a better fit, geography-wise, rivalry-wise, recruiting-wise, stability-wise. That's all I'm saying. So once again, BYU set to join the new Big 12 in the 23-24 season. Cincinnati, Houston, UCF probably in the 24-25 season. Unless some other crazy stuff happens, and you never know, or the new Big 12 decides to eat that money and pay $30 million. We'll see. And we'll also see what the AAC does, because they're going to be looking for other teams as well. Things may quiet down a bit for a little bit, but from what I'm hearing, conference realignment is nowhere close to being done. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.